Bangkok. We just landed in Bangkok at the Subra Harmony something airport. It's a really long name that I can't even pronounce. But we just got here from Phuket and about to settle into our hotel room. We got a bunch more interviews lined up here with some amazing doctors and a couple of really well-known clinics here in Bangkok. So welcome to Bangkok.
The next morning, we got up bright and early and we headed to Verita Life Clinic in downtown Bangkok. We soon learned that Bangkok traffic, very much like Manila, Philippines, is congested pretty much all the time. After about an hour's drive, we finally arrived at Verita Life Clinic, and they welcomed us there with open arms. The first interview that I got to do was with Dr. Hosami. Dr. Hosami, thank you so much for inviting us to join you here at the Verita Life Clinic in Bangkok.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the treatment protocols that you offer here, so we'll get into that. But first of all, if you could share with the viewing audience a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
how long you've been working here and so forth.
Definitely. My name is Dr. Hosami, and I'm the head of integrative oncology of Verita Life Asia Pacific. Right. I've been working now with Verita Life for about 4.5 years almost, and we managed to bring, let's say, the clinic and Verita Life to be one of the toppest clinics in the world. Yeah. Me, myself, with other doctors, other scientists as well, we're all working on trying to get the best outcome and the best treatments for the patients.
What about your education? Where did you go to medical school?
Well, my first degree, my bachelor degree, was from the Middle East, all right, from Egypt, to be specified. And later on, I went into gynecology masters, started working also in gynecology oncology as well. And then later on, I did more postgraduate studies and on cancers, on integrative treatments as well from all around the world, like for example from US, from Germany, and from Canada as well.
Okay. So when you went through medical school, what got you interested in integrative oncology? You mentioned gynecology oncology,
Yes.
and then integrative oncology. How did that progress?
The progress was because I found that chemotherapy and radiotherapy was not the only answers to treat cancer patients. Sometimes the patients are suffering from the treatments more than they suffer from the disease as well. So I started to look more, I started to search more, and then I saw that there is other options, there is other ways of treatments as well. So the quality of quality of life, also as well as the non-toxic treatments together as well. This is what makes the patient becomes more better. All organs are functioning in a very good way as well, and supporting his own body and his immune system to fight the cancer. For example, like what we use IPT, which stands for insulin potentiation therapy. This is it's a use of a chemotherapy, but on an extremely low dose. All right. The idea behind this treatment came that we know sugar or glucose. This is the main source of energy for cancer. So what happens if we suppress or we decrease this glucose level? And it is being monitored every 5 to 10 minutes after the injection of insulin. Once we get to the level of that, we call it a metabolic stress. The cancer cells are suppressed, they're weak, they cannot resist. Then we would inject about 10 to 20, 25% maximum of the conventional dose. So here we're having a greater effect because the cancer cells are weak, and also extremely low side effects, or sometimes there's no side effects at all because the dose is very low.
Dr. Hosami mentioned IPT. Now that stands for insulin potentiated targeted. And IPT is insulin potentiated targeted low dose chemotherapy. Uses chemotherapy but in a fraction of the normal amount, using insulin as a potentiator to deliver the chemotherapy to the cancer cells. This is what Dr. Lodi was discussing earlier in the episode. He uses insulin as a potentiator to deliver botanicals like turmeric, quercetin, and other phytonutrients straight to the cells. I then asked Dr. Hosami about the other treatments that they might be using at the clinic.
Other treatments, like for example metabolic treatments, this is more we work on the metabolism of the cancer by either stopping the glucose absorption so they don't have energy, or stopping the energy production if there's any other source as well that the cancer is trying to use in order to multiply and to spread and so on. So this is also one of the treatments. Local hypothermia, I would say, which is considered as an anti-cancer treatment, all right, a primary cancer treatment. This is more, it's a physical, it's not chemical or herbal, and it's increasing the temperature of the cancer area from around 40 to 45 Celsius. Now, science has proven that this is a temperature that cancer cells cannot survive in. So it's killing the cancer cells directly. It's also decreasing the resistance of the cancer to chemotherapy, radiation, alternative treatments as well, and always improving the outcome for the patient.
You mentioned local hypothermia. Do you also do full body hypothermia?
Full body hypothermia as well. Full body and local hypothermia, the difference between them is, one, the temperature is extremely high and acts as a killer cell as the local hypothermia, and the whole body hypothermia, it's more an immune enhancement. All right, because we're making an artificial fever around the body, which makes the immune system become activated. So the patient is getting a temperature up to 39, 38.5. There is intensive full body hypothermias as well, which goes to 42, but not all patients can take this or will be suitable for this.
And at our house, I have a sauna. I sit in it, full body hypothermia every day, 45 minutes.
Exactly.
I love
it's more an immune enhancement, yes.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yes.
It feels great to sweat too, right? Because you're also detoxifying.
Definitely, yes. Many other treatments, I would say, like also herbal treatments, for example. The use of curcumin or turmeric in a very high dose, either in oral form or also intravenously. Curcumin or turmeric is known always as an anti-inflammatory herb, but it also has a toxic effect on cancer cells without having any side effects at all. So it works on the angiogenesis, which is the formation of blood vessels, and so on.
We're about to go to a quick interview with one of his patients, Paoli, and her daughter, Sam. And just to give you a little background on this, Dr. Tony Jimenez was just out in the hall talking, and he met up with Sam, and she started discussing the fact that her mother was a patient here and she'd seen the truth about cancer. So we got a quick interview with them to describe their experience here at Verita Life. So we're going to go to that now.
So my name is Sam Suda, and this is my mom, Paoli, and we're from Thailand. And last year, my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. We never knew about cancer before. None of our family members have a history of cancer, so it was all very new to us. And first, of course, we got surgery and conventional treatment 6 times. And then after that, we decided it wasn't for us because we came across something on the internet, statistics on how unsuccessful conventional chemotherapy is. So after that, my mom told us that she doesn't want to do it anymore. And also it didn't work for her. Chemo didn't really work for her, and they found new spots on the lungs and everything. So the doctor actually asked to operate her to find out if the spots on the lungs were cancerous and things like that. It was just too many surgeries, and it didn't really work for us. So we tried doing things at home, and eventually came to Verita Life. She was very frail. She could hardly walk, and she came here for 5 weeks, and we did IPT, so that insulin potentiated chemotherapy. We did all the IVs they had, like curcumin, garlic, quercetin, resveratrol, vitamin C, anything Dr. Hosami prescribed. We also did hyperthermia, and we did NK cell therapy, massage, lymphatics. What else? We already said that.
So you attacked it from all different directions,
everything,
right?
Yeah, everything that they had. And after 5 weeks, though she was very, very frail by the end of her treatment, we went to have a CT scan, PET-CT scan, and nothing showed up except for one little spot. And it was very low activity. So yeah, she's not dead or anything, but it was a huge progress, which conventional treatment couldn't do for us. So we had those 6 weeks, and then she had some rest because we had to go to the hospital to fix up her GI system. And going back to the hospital was a nightmare because the doctors didn't believe in these treatments, and they kept saying to us, even it doesn't show on the PET scan, it's still there, it's still there. She still has cancer, because she vomited everything out and she couldn't keep food down. And they were saying, oh, the tumors are squeezing her food tubes and stuff like that. And like, you have no evidence. Like, what are you saying? Like, her markers came down, her scans are clear, and she never had tumors there where they were suggesting, and it just ended up being her stomach not squeezing and digesting enough. That's why she couldn't take any food. But
Paoli, how are you feeling now?
Not 100% perfect, but I'm getting better every day.
yeah, emotionally
Mhm.
and physically.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's just an encouraging story. I'm so glad that we ran into you here, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share your encouraging story with people that are watching. You're an awesome daughter, and you look like you're an awesome mother, and y'all are a great team. So just keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. You too.
Appreciate
Keep up
it.
the good work.
Thank you so much, Sam, and thank you so much, Paoli, for sharing. Your story is an inspiration to me, and I know it's an inspiration to those that are watching. Can you describe a few more of those treatments, other than the IPTLD, the intravenous curcumin, maybe some more of the herbs that you're using?
Exactly. The herbs now, it's more, let's say, most of medicines are just always extracted from herbs, all right? But there's a lot of chemicals added to it and lots of, let's say, concentration it's made in that makes it toxic to the body. But if we get to the therapeutical dose without having the toxic dose, this is where we're getting the benefits against the cancer. For example, curcumin is one. Another is resveratrol as well, which is extracted from grapes. It's a very high antioxidant. It helps also attacking cancer cells. It helps supporting the immune system and the bone marrow to produce more immune cells. Quercetin, which is also found in onions or berries as well. EGCG, which is the green tea extract as well in a high dose. It can also be given as an oral form and intravenous. Apigenin as well, and all other kind of herbs. Let's say we use around between 15 to 20 herbs here on different kind of cancers. Of course, every type of cancer has its own protocol, its own dosages of herbs in order to get the best outcome, and also in combination with the IPT. We have also protocols which is working on each chemo drug with the herbs in order to decrease the side effects and to improve the benefits of the chemotherapy against the cancer. Because Thailand here and let's say Asia, it's famous with ancient medicine and herbal medicine, so it is much easier here to get the herbs, to have also use the Thai herbs as well in treating the cancer patients. It's not, I would say, not very specific for Thailand, let's say, but we always try to get and search. This is what makes us unique a little bit, that we have a scientists and researchers from all around the world that are always searching for medications, for treatments, for herbs that helps all the cancer patients.
And you're also using a unique treatment here that I initially learned about 3 years ago when we did our global quest in Riga, Latvia.
Yeah.
Can you describe
Rigvir.
that treatment?
Yes, which it's called Rigvir, it's a non-pathogenic virus. Now, viruses, we know that it always causes a disease for a human body. If it infects an organ or something, then it's causing a disease. But Rigvir, it's non-pathogenic. It's a safe virus. It doesn't cause any disease. And what it does, it's infecting the cancer cells actually. Now, the cancers always, they tend to cover themselves so that immune system or the killer cells cannot recognize them. So Rigvir, what it's doing is making the cancer become more recognized by the immune cells. So it infects the cancer, it breaks it down. This breakdown always releases certain enzymes or proteins which allows the immune system, especially the T lymphocytes, in order to recognize the cancers and start attacking it again. So Rigvir is one of the immune therapies that is used in Verita Life, and it's helpful for patients. It's not harmful, it's not aggressive, it's a good quality of life as well, and you can see very good outcomes with it. The main immune treatments that we use in Verita Life is Rigvir, the virus therapy, dendritic cells, and natural killer cell therapy as well. Now, dendritic and natural killer cells, it's more a biological treatments, which we harvest from the patient themselves. We draw the blood, we send it to the lab, and then we extract the immune cells from their blood, multiply them into millions, and then we start training them or introducing them to the patient's cancer's antigen. So their own immune cells are always trained on their type of cancer, and then it's given back to them. Now, the function of the dendritic cells is always to also search for the cancer. They call dendritic because they have dendrites, which makes them look like an octopus. All right. So they hook onto the cancer cells, and then also they start analyzing and breaking them down. Also, they act as a messenger between the killer cells, the T cells, and the cancer cells, make them more recognized by them and start attacking them as well. NK cells are from their name, natural killer cells. They are the killers. So we also need them to be very strong, to be very active, as well as we test the numbers, we test the activity and multiply them into billions, not millions in this case. And then we give it back to the patient as intravenously and start to attack the cancer cells.
I see you do some macrophage work.
Exactly here. We also do it. It's more as macrophage. It's a type of immune cells, and the GC-MAF, it's more a protein. It's a G protein. This is what stands for. GC is the type of the protein, and MAF is the macrophage activating factors. So by introducing this protein, it's activating these cells again to start from their name to phagocytose, which engulf or eat the cancer cells and other viruses. It can be used not only for cancer, it's useful for many types of diseases or infections as well. Detox here, when we do it in the clinic, it's more intensive, because when we are attacking cancer cells, there are always a lot of dead tissues or dead cells that is accumulating, and when it stays in the body, it's more increasing inflammation, which the still living cancer cells can use in order to grow again. So, for example, we use ozone therapy. All right, it's a part of a supportive to the immune system and also a part of detox. Ozone, it's a gas that is known for use also in sterilization in medicine. They sterilize medical equipments with it. So when we give it, what we do is we draw the blood and we add the ozone gas to it, makes it its all closed system. So there's no way of infection, there's no way of contamination of the blood as well. And then we drip it back to the patient. It increases the oxygenation, so which helps also supporting the immune system and suppressing the cancer. And as well, it helps in cleaning out the body from all the bacteria, decreasing inflammation, and so on. Right? Lymphatic drainage as well, which we help the lymphatic system. It's a part of the immune system, and it is the detoxing system in the body, let's say. So when it becomes thick, or the movement of the lymphatic system becomes slow, then the toxins are accumulating. So this is done with a special machine that has all the noble gases in it, like argon, the neon, and the ozone gas as well. And it is being passed as a massage way over the body, which stimulates the lymphatic system to start moving again and start detoxing the body.
Dr. Hosami mentioned noble gases like krypton, argon, and xenon. This is the second mention in Thailand. Remember, earlier in the episode, Dr. Lodi discussed this exact same massage for the lymphatic system using these noble gases. Now, another detox therapy that Dr. Lodi mentioned was hydrocolon therapy.
Hydrocolon therapy as well, which is all what we eat accumulates in our colon, and we're not, when we, let's say, pass stool or go to the toilet, we're not passing everything. So by years, there's always accumulation in the, let's say, in the alveoli of the colons. So we need to clean this out in order also to decrease all the toxins that are accumulating. So of course, people will ask that we have the healthy bacteria in our colon. So once we finish this process of the colon, which lasts for 45 minutes, then we would inject it with either wheatgrass or with probiotics. Make the patient absorb, so the colon starts to absorb all the healthy bacteria to help in digestion later on. We test the patients for the heavy metals to see the lead or the mercuries, especially if the people has the fillings, amalgam fillings. That means the mercuries are very high in their blood, and this is a way to also suppress the immune system. So chelation, EDTA chelation, it's more to chelate out the heavy metals as well, in order not to leave any way for suppression of the immune system or the cancer to grow on.
So we're just about to leave Veritas here in Bangkok, and I ran into Dr. Brian, and he said, hey, can we get a photo? So we got a photo, and then I found out that he saw The Truth About Cancer when he was in medical school in Seattle.
Right.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to share with you, the viewing audience, a little bit with Dr. Brian about what you've learned from TTAC, and then your patients are talking about it, and then why'd you come here to work?
So back then, everything's really conventional. Even though the naturopathic medicine community, because we're always following standard of care, even though we're doing adjunctive care. So a lot of my patients would come up and talk about the truth about cancer, and then there'll be some treatments that we would say that it would be unsafe to our patients. But then so many patients are coming in, and there's just so much information that there's got to be some truth to it. So I tried looking at a few of your clips, and then in class it would be, oh wait, this is too dangerous. But then a lot of patients are doing it. So I never really had the chance to see these treatments work. So I decided to leave the country and see whether these treatments would be offered, and Verita Life is one of them. So I came here with all these protocols, and it combines both the conventional alternative, both deemed safe and unsafe. And I've seen that with these combined and some of the information in your documentary, we do see good results here.
Do you recognize Dr. Tony?
Yes, actually,
He
in
was
one,
in-
one of the videos.
Yeah, come on in here, Dr. Tony. So we'll get Dr. Tony Jimenez in here.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So
I
again,
thought you looked familiar.
he was in the Global Quest, and what I told Dr. Hossami after our interview was that Dr. Tony's protocols are comprehensive. I mean, he uses all types of different methodologies and protocols, hits cancer from every angle. It's the same thing that you're doing here. I'd say that this clinic and then Dr. Tony's are two of the most comprehensive clinics that we've seen.
Wow.
So,
So Dr. Osami will be joining your tour pretty soon.
you know what? Maybe so. Maybe when we go down to New Zealand and Australia, or if he can take us. Where did he grow up? I can't remember where Dr.
Egypt.
Egypt. Maybe when we go to Egypt, Dr. Hossami will lead us there. So, and there he is, Dr. Hossami. Come and get in the video real quick. Just did a quick interview with Dr. Brian here, and just validated a lot of the things that we talked about in the interview about what you're doing here at Verita Life. So, again, thanks for the interview. Dr. Brian, Dr. Hossami, thank you.
very
Y'all
much.
keep up the good work.
Thank you. Really, really
Dr.
great
Brian.
medical director, really great leader here.
You guys are doing the work.
All right. Well, awesome interviews, and now we're going to head to Absolute Health. So we'll see you there.
So we just saw 3 more people in Thailand who were positively influenced by the truth about cancer. Sam and her mother, and also Dr. Brian. What a blessing. After the team left Verita Life, they headed over to the Absolute Health Clinic, where Ty met yet another doctor who was influenced by the truth about cancer.